Germany arrests 25 suspected far-right extremists for plotting to overthrow government.
German officials arrested 22 suspected members and 3 suspected supporters of a far-right terrorist organization across the country on Wednesday on suspicion of plotting to overthrow the government. In a statement, the German Federal Prosecutor's Office said an estimated 50 people were suspected to have been part of the group called Reich Citizens Movement, founded no later than November 2021, who were plotting to overthrow the government and replace it with their own order. The accused are united by a deep rejection of state institutions and the free democratic basic order of the Federal Republic of Germany, which over time has led to their decision to participate in their violent elimination and to engage in concrete preparatory actions for this purpose, the statement said. The members of the group follow a conglomerate of conspiracy myths consisting of narratives of the so-called Reichsbürger as well as canon ideology. The statement said the suspected members of the organization were German nationals. 2 of the suspected supporters were German and 1 was Russian, it added. German Minister of Justice Marco Buschmann said on Wednesday that democracy is defensible, adding a major anti-terror operation has been underway since this morning. The federal public prosecutor is investigating a suspected terrorist network from the Reich citizen milieu, Buschmann said on Twitter. There are suspicions that an armed attack on constitutional organs was planned. The Federal Prosecutor's Office said the raids are continuing and are directed against a further 27 suspects. Germany has struggled to get a grip on far-right extremism in recent years. In June 2020, an elite German military unit known as the KSK was partially disbanded after it was found to have a buildup of right-wing extremists. The KSK embark on operations such as anti-terror campaigns and hostage situations, according to Agence France Presse news agency. Earlier that year, in February 2020, a mass shooting left 9 people dead at 2 shisha bars in the city of Hanau, near Frankfurt. Then Chancellor Angela Merkel said the gunmen had acted out of right-wing extremist, racist motives. The incident was the 3rd deadly attack attributed to right-wing suspects in the country in 1 year. Experts linked Germany's increasingly frequent violent right-wing attacks with the rise of the Alternative for Germany, AfD, party, which in 2017 became the first far-right party to win seats in Germany's parliament in nearly 60 years. In March 2021, the AfD was formally placed under surveillance by Germany's BFE domestic intelligence service on suspicion of trying to undermine the country's democratic constitution. According to the New York Post. Berlin, German authorities on Wednesday detained 25 members and supporters of a far-right group that the prosecutor's office said were preparing a violent overthrow of the state, with some members suspected of plotting an armed attack on the parliament. 1 active soldier and several reservists are among those being investigated, a spokesperson for the military intelligence service told Reuters. The active soldier is a member of the Special Forces Command, it said. A former parliamentary lawmaker from the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, who serves as a judge in Berlin was also among those detained, along with a former member of a German royal family. Investigators suspect individual members of the group had concrete plans to storm the Bundestag lower house of parliament in Berlin with a small armed group, the prosecutor's office said. One of the suspects, identified as Heinrich 13 Pr. under Germany's privacy law, had reached out to representatives of Russia, whom the group saw as its central contact for establishing its new order, the office said. It said there was no evidence the representatives had reacted positively to the request. Heinrich, who comes from the royal house of Reuss, which had ruled over parts of eastern Germany, was seen as the designated leader in the group's future state, while another suspect, Rüdiger V.P., was the head of the military arm, the office said. The House of Reuss had previously distanced itself from Heinrich, calling him a confused man who pursued conspiracy theories, according to local media. The House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Prosecutors said the raids were conducted by more than 3,000 police officials and security forces across 11 German federal states. Suspects were arrested in the German states of Baden-Württemberg, Bavaria, Berlin, Hesse, Lower Saxony, Thuringia, as well as in Austria and Italy, said the office. The suspects are accused of preparing, since the end of November 2021 at the latest, to carry out actions based on their ideology, according to the office. These actions include procuring equipment, recruiting new members and holding shooting lessons, it added. The focus of the recruitment efforts were primarily members of the military and police officers, the office said.